And Michelle, when I went out of that segment, I said that there are millions of conservative and Christian Americans who are waiting for the Republicans to put a stop to some of the craziness going on, the lawlessness going on. Do you think it will ever happen?
Well, I think it'll be a very difficult thing to do because a president of the United States wields enormous power, as we have seen, and no president has ever stretched the boundaries of power within office like Barack Obama. He has now gone to the level of lawlessness, taking power into his hands that he has no constitutional right to take that power. It is difficult to constrain a president, but unfortunately, the Republican leadership in both the House and Senate, in my opinion, has failed to take the options that are available to them. One, they have two powers, really. One is the power of the purse, meaning they don't have to fund Barack Obama's agenda. And I was working extremely hard in December with our Republican leadership and with fellow Republicans to defund President Obama and his agenda. For some unknown reason, the Republicans decided to fully fund Barack Obama's agenda through October 1st of 2015.
That's right.
Now, there was no reason for them to do that, but they did it. The only thing they didn't fund was the Department of Homeland Security, and now they have funded the Department of Homeland Security. So 100% of Barack Obama's agenda is funded through October 1st. Why October 1st? That's the end of America's fiscal year. Our budget year goes from September 30th to September 30th. At the point when we get to September 30th in 2015, we will be deep into the 2016 presidential race. My experience tells me in no universe will you see Republicans get a backbone because they're looking now at their own reelection chances and the reelection chance of a Republican president for 2016. So what is remarkable is that when Barack Obama came in office as president, he had a full Democrat House and Senate and Democrat White House. He 100% got his way. That's how we got Obamacare. That's how we got Dodd-Frank and a lot of these initial big legislative achievements. Then when Republicans took over the House, Barack Obama still got his way because the Republicans in the House said, well, we're only one half of 1/3 of government. We don't have enough power to get anything done. And so the Republicans caved. Now that Republicans control both the House and the Senate, I think disappointing to so many of us, myself included, that we don't see more pushback coming from the Republicans. So think of this. Here we have the most radical president that has ever been in the history of America, and he has completely gotten his way, 110% unmitigated for all 8 years. At this point, it is 6.5 years. But at this point, I do not see pushback coming from the Republicans. Am I disappointed? Yes, I lived it. Because I had the grief of pushing back against my own Republican leadership from the first day that I entered Congress. That was my frustration. But it was also dealing with the Democrats as well. And it really comes down to, I believe, worldview and ideology. What is the worldview that you hold? We see that Barack Obama has probably one of the most radical ideologies of anyone ever to occupy the White House. He embraces the ideas of a economic Marxist who believes in full-on redistribution of wealth. But he also embraces the worldview when it comes to foreign policy of essentially a one-world government point of view, where he is not as concerned about United States sovereignty. He's very willing to see the United States power flow into world organizations, and he has taken an opposite view of Israel, unlike any other president that we have ever had since 1948. His view is anti-Israel. We've never seen that before. So that now, in effect, declared war on Israel from the United States. The reason why, Jan, you and I are talking about this is because we take as true what the Bible says in Genesis about Israel and about nations' response to Israel. We recognize that we have been singularly blessed in the United States because of the way that the United States has blessed Israel over and over from 1948 until recent times. We also know that this isn't a one-sided view in the Bible. The Bible talks about blessing. It also talks about cursing. And we recognize that God is true and his ways are altogether just. And if the United States turns its back on Israel, as our president is doing today, in my opinion, we cannot continue to indulge in the fantasy that the United States will be free from receiving the negative blowback or curses in biblical parlance that could come our way, and they could be severe.
Well, Michelle, as we speak, they're severe, from economic issues to some of the weather-related issues, drought on the West Coast, unparalleled, unprecedented snowstorms on the East Coast.
And Jan, it's my opinion that that is only the very threshold or
Yes.
down payment.
Yeah.
If we actually turn our back on Israel, as we are seeing Barack Obama do today, if that happens, then I think we will see a scale and a level of pushback in the United States. Negative consequences. I don't know what they are, but I believe that the Bible is true. And I believe that what the Bible says is that our nation and the people of our nation will reap a whirlwind, and we could see economic disasters, natural disasters. The United States does not want to be in that position, and unfortunately, the people put into office Barack Obama, not only once, but twice.
Yep.
And the people have to rise up against his actions and demand that their leaders take steps accordingly.